Hello everyone, I'm Chris Hernandez, and this is the Weekly Report, your look at news and information from the city of Kansas City, Missouri. Residents from Kansas City have spoken, elected officials have made the appropriate adjustments, and the fiscal year 2017 through 18 budget passed City Council last week. The nearly $1.6 billion budget increases public safety expenditures by $19 million, which accounts for 76% of the general fund operating budget. The budget also provides for the continuation of basic services, modest raises for city employees, and lower increases in water bills than originally projected. This week, the mayor gave his annual State of the City address at the Nelson Atkins Museum of Art. A full house was there to listen in person, and for the first time, the speech was live streamed on the mayor's Facebook page.
I know we have the will, and I know we have the ability to do what is in our best interest for the best of our future. Investing in the future is fundamental to progress. If you don't believe me, just remember how far we've come. What's changed? We created momentum. Opportunity ran headfirst into a city full of people willing to take action. This has to continue. And we need a new generation of Kansas Cityans to step up. Not just young people, but folks who have been hesitant to get involved. Our kids and grandkids aren't going to judge us by the ideals that we hope for them. They're going to judge us by the reality that we leave for them. They will be the beneficiaries of the renewed spirit of Kansas City. Thank you all very much. Good night. God bless you all. God bless Kansas City.
Mayor James' full State of the City address can be viewed immediately following this edition of the Weekly Report, and it's also available to view anytime on demand on the city's YouTube page. The city is making visible progress on important neighborhood revitalization and economic development projects on the east side. Last week, demolition started on the old Royale Inn at Independence Avenue and the Paseo to make way for the new Paseo Gateway project. And this week, city leaders broke ground on the new Sunfresh Market grocery store to kick off redevelopment of the Linwood Shopping Center at Linwood and Prospect.
I want to start off with the Swahili word, Harambe. Harambe! Harambe! For those of you who do not know what Harambe means, it's a Swahili word that means pulling together. And today I see our community pulling together.
And so this is just another step. I look forward to seeing all the other stores that fill this center. I look forward to seeing development up and down Prospect. I look forward to seeing development and residents coming back to our community every step of the way, and us taking care of the people who have been here for years before. So thank you all for being here. I look forward to the next opening. I look forward to the next store. We look forward to more successes, more ribbon cuttings.
Thank you all for being here and braving this weather. Troy is responsible for the weather. I'm only responsible at 65 degrees and up. Anything below, that's his problem, all right? But thank you all for being here, and thank you for your commitment. And the last thing I'll say is it's not enough to stand here for the groundbreaking. When the store opens, you got to come buy some food here, all right? Thank you all.
I'm going to make a challenge right now for the first person who comes to the grocery store. I'm going to spend $100 for the first shopper, and Mayor James is going to match that, right?
I just want to tell you that when he spends his $100, I'm going to convince him to spend another $100.
The city closed on the property in May for a little under $1 million, raising that money by selling bonds to investors. Did you know that in the past 5 years, nearly $2.3 billion in private and public money has been invested in East Side neighborhoods? These include a new Aldi grocery store, the Samuel Rogers Health Center, and the new KCPD East Patrol Station and Crime Lab. A centennial commemoration of the U.S. entry into World War I will be held at the National World War I Museum in Penn Valley Park on Thursday, April 6, beginning at 9 a.m. International diplomats are expected to attend. Tickets will be available to the public at theworldwar.org. Some streets will be closed beginning around 5 a.m. in the area of Penn Valley Park, Union Station, and Crown Center during this event, which will affect the morning commute on Thursday the 6th. The World War I Museum itself will be closed on Wednesday, April 5th and Thursday, April 6th. And now let's take a look at what's happening in some other departments around the city.
It's that time of year again, time to clean up what our mild winter left behind. The annual Spring Leaf and Brush collection begins Monday, April 10th. Richard Gaskin, who heads up Kansas City's Leaf and Brush program, explains why this is the right time of year.
The April date was chosen and has been around mid to late April because folks are cleaning out, doing their yard maintenance from the winter and cleaning out flower beds and those type of things.
Casey Water manages Kansas City's Leaf and Brush program. Keeping leaves out of the street means keeping them out of catch basins, and that helps prevent street flooding. Each season, a different zone goes first. This spring, it's the Central Zone. Pickups begin April 10th for the residents who live between the Missouri River and 63rd Street. The week of April 17th is for homes north of the river, and then April 24th starts pickup for the South Zone.
It's important to note that if you live east of Blue Ridge Cutoff, that you are in the South Zone, regardless of whether you're north or south of 63rd Street.
A few more guidelines. Your bags of leaves and bundles of twigs must be at the curb by 7 a.m. on your regularly scheduled trash day. They will not be picked up if they are in your yard or next to your house. The limit is 20 sacks and/or bundles. This is only for leaves and brush, no grass clippings. If your bags have not been picked up by 7 p.m. on your trash day, please call the 311 Action Center within 24 hours to schedule another pickup time. And the bags must be paper, as all of this goes to Missouri Organic for recycling. Cleaning up the leaves can be a chore, but keeping this debris out of streets is not only more attractive, it's also good for our creeks, streams, and rivers.
And also from a long-term perspective, that the leaves and brush that end up in our waterways decompose and have a negative impact on our waterways and also aquatic life.
Hi, I'm Audrey DeGrandpré with Kansas City Convention and Entertainment Facilities, bringing you news of upcoming shows and events taking place in April at your city facilities. Planet Comic-Con, Kansas City's biggest sci-fi extravaganza, returns to Bartle Hall April 28th through 30th with a star-studded lineup featuring first-time celebrity guests and returning fan favorites. One of the nation's largest comic book and pop culture expos, Planet Comic-Con draws legions of fans from the world of superheroes, science fiction movies, TV, fantasy, gaming, and more. Tickets for Planet Comic-Con Kansas City are on sale now and may be purchased at their website, planetcomiccon.com. The Gospel Experience, featuring Grammy-winning recording artist Kirk Franklin, Crystal Rucker, and Toby and Tommy will be performing live on stage Saturday, April 8th at 7 p.m. at the Music Hall. Tickets may be purchased walk-up at the Municipal Auditorium box office and online at Ticketmaster.com. Ticket prices start at just $28. You're invited to attend Forks and Corks, Kansas City Harvester's annual fundraiser, on April 27th from 6:30 to 9 p.m. in the Kansas City Convention Center Grand Ballroom. It'll be an exciting evening featuring samples of gourmet food, wine, cocktails from more than 50 of Kansas City's finest restaurants and beverage purveyors. Live entertainment, a silent auction, and exclusive VIP lounge make Forks and Corks an unforgettable experience. 100% of event proceeds will go to support Harvester's mission to feed hungry people today and work to end hunger tomorrow. Tickets may be purchased online at forkscorkskc.com. Be a part of Spectrum Fantastic Art Live at the Kansas City Convention Center, April 21st through 23rd. This is a fantasy-focused art fair in which attendees can see and purchase original art, prints, sculpture, craft, toys, and more from today's top artists in the field of fantasy art. There is something for everyone, including presentations, panels, workshops, and the Spectrum 24 award ceremony. Admission is just $5 daily. For more information, visit SpectrumFantasticArtLive.com. To learn more about events taking place at Kansas City's convention and entertainment facilities, visit kcconvention.com and click on the events calendar or call 816-513-5000.
New training standards for all Missouri law enforcement begins in 2017, and that includes the Kansas City, Missouri Police Department. The Peace Officer Standards and Training, or what is called POST, is the state's regulatory program that licenses police officers, making sure they're in compliance with continuing education. KCPD officer Mike Mezzacasa is an instructor at the KCPD Regional Training Academy. He explains the most significant change about to take place under the new POST guidelines.
The way it was done was that we had to come up with a certain number of credit hours and certain core areas of curricula, as they call it, certain things that we have to study and learn inside of 3 years. As of January 1st, 2017, that will change and it will become a 1-year reporting period, whereas we have to have a different number of hours accumulated within 1 year. So it changes from 3 years to 1 year. It used to be 48 hours in a 3-year period, now it's 24 hours in a 1-year period.
The KCPD Regional Training Academy offers hundreds of courses for officers to make sure they remain current in their credit hours through in-service training. The Academy maintains records of thousands of law enforcement who come for training. It's a big job, but who makes sure it's getting done?
As far as the number of hours that are required in the core areas of curriculum, we've been meeting those standards for years. So Kansas City Police Department, through the Kansas City Regional Training Academy, has been doing that. So it won't be a big deal to us. As far as just making the records available to them on a yearly basis as opposed to a 3-year cycle, not really much of a change. So basically it's not going to be a big deal for us, being Kansas City Police Department and Regional Training Academy.
The Post Commission falls under the Missouri Public Safety Department. The new guidelines were approved in 2015, but really aren't new to KCPD Training Academy. Many of the mandated courses are already being taught.
We have to have what's called a training module, and there's certain documents within that module that tell these people who come in to audit us what the class was about, what the objectives were per the instructor, and the type of training that it is, and that it pertains or deals with something law enforcement, or as with these new standards, officer well-being, mental health, things of that nature. So what they will do is they will come in and they will look at these modules, as we call them, and they'll check every record in there. Every module has to have the same type of document in there, and there has to be certain language in each document. They will check all of those modules. They'll also check each training record for each officer that has come through this academy for training and has received post credits. And we're not talking about just Kansas City police officers, we're talking about regional agencies as well. Anyone that's come here for training. And we have people come here from all over the world, literally all over the world, to receive training here. They will check those training records, and they'll also check, cross-reference those training records with the modules to make sure that we have a module for something that someone's getting credit for and vice versa. Those are the biggest things that I deal with in continuing education, but they will also check the basic training side, which deals with recruits. These are people that come in, receive the most basic training from not having any law enforcement experience all the way through the end of their 6-month period of training, and they will check all of those training modules. And they have certain standards that they go by that they have to meet for each individual recruit officer.
The Post Commission also licenses basic training centers like the KCPD Regional Training Academy and their instructors. So why should you care?
All that information, by the way, is public record, and anybody can look that information up on the internet by going to Missouri Post and looking at that information. The changes in themselves, in my opinion, are not extraordinary to the police department, being Kansas City, or the training academy, because we've been conducting training like this for many years, and we've gone through many changes along with them, and so we're used to changes. We're used to having to accommodate different situations in society as it changes as well. These changes undoubtedly will not be the last ones. There'll be many more in the future, I'm sure, because these changes go by way of what society and norm is in society. And so it's basically the will of the people that dictates what it is that we do in law enforcement, and we are prepared to to make the changes that are necessary to do our job.
If you'd like to find out more about the type of changes being made in new training module for law enforcement, please visit the Missouri Department of Public Safety at dps.mo.gov. I'm Officer Mike Motes, and have a safe week.
First Friday arts and cultural events aren't just happening in the Crossroads Arts District or in the historic 18th and Vine District. They're also happening in Midtown at 37th and Main on the next First Friday, April 7th. Here to tell us about an art exhibition that opens on April 7th is Terry Goddard with The Whole Person. Terry, thank you for having us today and talking to us a little bit about not just the exhibition, but about the organization.
Well, The Whole Person has been operating for 39 years. We opened our doors in 1978, and since that time we've been serving people with disabilities all over the greater Kansas City area. And we really exist to empower and advocate and allow people to live as independently as they're able. And so several years back, a time came, some of our consumers were here and they wanted to display their art. And so thus the invention of Expressions, which this will be the 7th Expressions that happened. And I came along about a year and a half ago, decided that it was a lot of work for one night. So the event itself has evolved a lot. It started out as a one-night art show where artists with disabilities could come and sell their art. And now it has evolved into, we have an opening, which will happen on April 7th, right next door to The Whole Person at Kansas City Young Audience's new facility. And we're really excited to be there and share and bring people to the Midtown neighborhood. And Main Core is also one of our sponsors, so we're very excited about that. But anyway, the event came about on that night on April 7th. We invite the public in. We go through an application process with our artists, and so they apply. This year we had over 35 artists, and we selected 11 that will actually that night show their work, as well as we have a silent auction, and we are having a wine toss and a lot of different entertainment. Some people with disabilities will be dancing, and we have music, and it's just all around a great night. From that point on, the art begins to travel around the city. And we're really excited this year that the Nelson Art Gallery is going to be hosting our exhibit at some point, not in the gallery itself, but in their training facility, which we're very excited about. It'll go to the Kansas City Public Library, Johnson County Public Libraries. So it gives the artists themselves a lot of exposure.
You're covering the metro area, and you also, from what I understand, provide the artist with an honorarium.
Yes. Every artist, once they get selected, they get an honorarium of $250, which comes from several of our funding sources, of people that support us, like the NTDF grant, Francis Family, Arts KC. A lot of people really pulled together to help us get this event off the ground. So they get an honorarium, and they can use that for anything that they want. Some artists have a difficulty coming up with the funds to have their work framed, and so they have to have things ready and available to hang for us, and so that comes in handy for them in any number of ways, besides the fact that we're using their art for a whole year, so they're not able to sell it for the year, and that's part of their agreement.
And how has the art experience affected the people that work on the project or on the exhibition?
Well, I'm glad you asked that because I think it's very individual to each artist. Some of the artists come to us and they're very skilled and they're already developed in their professional development, and others are first-time artists, and so they're learning a lot. One of the things that we are adding this year that we're so excited about is adding, through the help of Artist Inc., we're providing professional development for each artist. So they're going to get 4 training classes, which is sort of an express version of what Artist KC takes on the road, and so they're going to really get to grow. They can be together as a class of artists, but they can learn and grow and get as much out of it as they need and want. So I think it's really empowering. Some of these people have never had the opportunity. You know, they do art as therapy, you know, but they might not get out and show it. So we want to give them the skills to know how to do an opening, to know how to market themselves, to know how to sell, to make themselves basically a business if they so choose.
Well, this is a pretty substantial endeavor, but this is just one of your many programs that you have. So you probably need volunteers or throughout the year in addition to your staff. But how would people find out more about how to help or how to be involved with the whole person?
Well, we do have a lot of different events that people can get involved in. One of them is coming up April 27th, Planting Independence. We do yard work throughout the city for people with disabilities that takes over 150 volunteers a day. So you can go to our website, there's a how you can help, and it lists all of the events that we have coming up throughout the year that we need volunteer help with.
And what's your website?
It's www.thewholeperson.org.
Well, thank you so much, Terry, for having us here at The Whole Person and for telling us more about your organization.
Oh, thank you. We're so excited. And we're really excited that the city's promoting us in this way. It's going to help elevate our event, I believe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Neighborhood Tourist Development Fund supports local nonprofits that bring cultural, social, educational, and recreational activities to our area. To learn about additional upcoming events, visit kcmo.gov/ntdf.
Curbside leaf and brush collection starts in the Central Zone the week of April 10th, followed by Northland collection the week of April 17th, and South Zone pickup takes place the week of April 24th. Remember, you may leave up to 20 bags or bundles of leaves and brush on your curb on your regular trash pickup day. The city's leaf and brush drop-off sites are also now open. The sites are located at 11660 North Main, 1815 North Shoto Trafficway, and 10301 Raytown Road. Drop-off is free to residents on Saturdays with identification. For more information about leaf and brush, visit kcmo.gov and search leaf and brush. To view this program again or other Channel 2 videos, just go to kcmo.gov and search Channel 2. That page has a link to our YouTube channel and all of our great programs which you can view on demand. The City Communications Office produces approximately 200 original videos each year to help keep you informed about city services. I'm Chris Hernandez. Make it a great week.